Packard lurched, tires spitting gravel as Elias wrestled the wheel, the impact throwing him momentarily against the plush velvet seat. What in God's name was that? He rasped, knuckles white against the steering wheel. Elias didn't answer, his gaze fixed on his hands. They seemed drawn. The lines of his knuckles were subtly altered, the skin slightly too smooth, reflecting the dim light of the Packard with an unnatural sheen. A tremor ran through him, not of fear, but of something deeper, something other. He disrupted the sequence. The caretaker hissed, his voice tight with suppressed fury. He clutched the jagged remnants of the music box, his face a mask of twisted piety. He delayed the inevitable, but he cannot stop it. Elias spun, his eyes narrowed. You speak of inevitability. We are in control here, man. This isn't some ancient prophecy, it's science. The caretaker's smile didn't reach his eyes. You misunderstand, Elias. This is beyond science. This is rebalancing. A return to the natural order. He gestured to the encroaching forest, the looming silhouette of Blackwood Estate barely visible through the dense foliage. The harmony was misplaced. Doctor, Blackwood attempted to correct it, and he came close. Too close, perhaps. Elias shivered. He felt a presence, not malevolent, but pervasive, a subtle pressure against his mind. It resonated with the unsettling melody that had haunted his dreams for weeks, a fragmented tune that seemed to unravel the edges of reality. He tried to focus on Elias, to anchor himself in the familiar scent of aged leather and pipe tobacco, but the melody tugged at him, whispering promises of understanding, of power. He glanced at his reflection in the Packard's window. The face staring back wasn't entirely his own. The lines around his eyes were subtly different, his jawline sharper. A faint ethereal glow emanated from his pupils, casting an unsettling light in the gloom. The feeling of wrongness intensified, like a discordant note in a familiar song. Elias. Elias's voice cut through the subtle drone in his hair. Are you all right? He forced a smile, trying to appear normal, but he knew it was a performance. Just a bit shaken, Elias. That jolt was unexpected. The Packard continued its slow crawl up the winding road, each turn bringing them deeper into the oppressive embrace of Blackwood Estate. The air grew heavy, thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. The silence was broken only by the crunch of tires on gravel and the rhythmic ticking of the caretaker's pocket watch. They pulled up before a colossal conservatory, its glass panels clouded with grime and overgrown with ivy. The structure seemed to pulse with a faint, sickly light. The scent of jasmine and something else, something acrid and indefinable, hung heavy in the air. This is where he began, the caretaker announced, his voice hushed with reverence. Where he attempted to restore the harmony. Elias ignored him, his gaze fixed on Elias. Are you certain you've recovered from that jolt? You look pale. Elias swallowed, trying to dislodge the burgeoning sense of disorientation. I'm fine, Elias. Let's just get this over with. The caretaker led them through the conservatory, the air growing increasingly stifling with each step. Towering plants, their leaves thick with dust, crowded the space, blocking out the last vestiges of daylight. The glass panels were cracked and warped, distorting the outside world into a kaleidoscope of blurred shapes. They reached a circular chamber, its walls lined with portraits. Most depicted stern-faced men and women in formal attire, their eyes seemingly following every movement. In the center of the room stood a monolithic stone structure, its surface covered in intricate carvings that seemed to writhe and shift as he watched. The caretaker placed the fragments of the music box on a pedestal before the stone structure. The final step, he murmured, his eyes gleaming with fanaticism. The rebalancing is at hand. He began to chant, a low guttural drone that resonated with the carvings on the walls. The stone structure pulsed with an increasing light, bathing the chamber in an eerie glow. Elias felt a pressure building in his chest, a tightening grip on his throat. The melody that had haunted his dreams began to coalesce, growing louder, more insistent. He felt a strange compulsion, a desire to join the chant, to surrender to the growing power. Elias stepped forward, his hand resting on the revolver at his hip. Stop this, caretaker. You're playing with forces you don't understand. The caretaker ignored him, his voice rising in intensity. The harmony must be restored. The world must be cleansed. Elias felt himself swaying, his vision blurring. The portraits on the walls seemed to ripple and distort, their eyes following him with an unnerving intensity. He tried to resist, to fight against the growing influence, but it was like trying to hold back a tidal wave. Suddenly, he began to sing. The melody poured from his lips, a haunting, otherworldly tune that seemed to warp the very air around him. It was a song of cosmic horror, a lament for a lost order, a promise of a new dawn. The melody resonated within the stone structure. Elias stared at him, his face a mask of disbelief and growing dread. Elias, what have you done? The caretaker's eyes widened in a manic grin. He is the key. He is the vessel. The harmony is returning. The room shook violently, the portraits on the walls twisting into grotesque shapes. The stone structure pulsed with an overwhelming light, threatening to consume everything in its path. Elias felt a surge of power coursing through his veins, a feeling of transcendent understanding. He looked at Silas, and for a moment, he saw not a friend, but a barrier, an obstacle to the inevitable. He felt a flicker of regret, a fleeting memory of a life that was slipping away. Then the light intensified, and everything went black. The portrait of Dr. Blackwood seemed to shift imperceptibly as a faint, ethereal voice echoed within the chamber. "It is not a place, Silas. It is a state of mind, and the corruption lingers.